Hey dudes, welcome back to our channel for today's presentations on grade 11 Precalculus quarter 1 week 1 last 3 about equations of a circle on how to write transform general equations to standard form. Okay, ito yung general equation natin and we have also here the standard form. Okay, given the standard equation of a circle, so mas madali natin ma-identify the center and radius of the equation of a circle. So the center is here is h and k, and the radius is represented by r. And for the general equation of a circle, so here's the equation: x squared plus ay squared plus cx plus dy plus a is equal to 0, or equivalently to x squared plus y squared plus cx plus dy plus a is equal to 0. So we can write this into the standard form by completing the square in both variables x and y. So example number 1, so identify the center and radius of a circle with a given equation. Unang example natin is in the form of standard equations, a quantity of x minus 3 squared plus y squared is equal to 16. But the y here can also be written into y minus 0 squared is equal to 16. Then we're going to find the center. Our h here is 3 and the k is 0. And for the radius r, so r squared natin is equal to 16. So squaring both sides, so maiwan yung r. So square root of 16 is 4. We have another example. Identify the center and radius of the circle. So ang given equation natin dito is in the form of general equations of the circle. So with these equations, we can determine the standard form para makita natin yung center and radius. So una, separate natin yung x variable. So we have here a quantity of x squared minus 5x. Then for y variable, then y squared plus 4y, then is equal to 46. So in completing this square in this expression, the x and y variable, so magdagdag tayo ng pangatlong term. Yan, that will produce a perfect square trinomial. So kano yung nadagdag natin on one side should also be added to the other side. So meron tayong dalawang unknown value on the other side. So the x squared part here, meron tayong coefficient 1. For the y squared also 1. So i-divide natin yung middle term by 2, negative 5 divided 2, then square it. So negative 5 over 2 square. Then negative 5 times negative 5, that is positive 25, then 2 square, that is 2 times 2 is 4. Yan ang ating pangatlong term for the x variable. So for the y variable, we have the middle term, sa gitna is 4, divide 2, then square, 4 over 2 square, that's 4 divide 2 is 2, 2 square, that is 4. So yan ang ating idagdag for the y part. So for the other side, so ang dagdagan 25 over 4 and also the 4. Then we have the perfect square trinomial is also equal to a quantity of x minus, okay, just copy the negative 5 over 2 raised to 2. Yan ang ating equivalent for the perfect square trinomial for the x part. For the y part, the trinomial is equivalently to the quantity of y plus 2 raised to 2, and is equal to, get the sum, 46 plus 4 is 15, then add the 25 over 4, then this 15 by using the mixed number, then 4 times 50 is 200 plus 25 is 225 over 4. So yan ang ating r squared. Then this is the standard equation of this circle. Okay, so this time we have the center, the h and k. So the h here is 5 over 2, And for the k, so we need to factor the plus sign. So negative times negative. Originally, that is y minus k. So ang gamitin natin for k is negative 2. And for the radius, so r represented by r squared. Then squaring both sides para maiwan yung r. Then eliminate yung square root. Then r. Then square root of 225 is 15. Then square root of 4 is 2. Yan ating radius. We have another general equations of the circle. And with this equation, we can determine the standard form by separating the x part to y part. Yan. Then this is equal to pi. And we need to determine the term to be added para magiging perfect polynomial square ang trinomial natin para sa x part and also for the y part. Kung ano yung na-introduce natin on one side na term, extra term, and also be added to the other side. Okay, since ang x squared part natin dito is 4, dapat 1 ang value for the coefficient. We need to factor the 4 times 1. Yan, and 44 times 10. Then the common here is 4. Yan ang factor out natin yung 4. Then 4x squared divide 4. Then x squared. Then 40 x divide 4 is 10x. Then the last term, the unknown value. And for the y part, 4 times 1, then 4 times negative 2, that's negative 32. Then common is 4. 4y squared divide 4 is y squared. Negative 32y divide 4, that's negative 8y. Then the last part, then is equal to pi plus the unknown values. Since this is 1, the coefficient of x squared, then i-divide natin yung middle term by 2. 10 divide 2, then square it, then 10 divide 2 is 5, then squared. 5 times 5 is 25. Yan ang ating idagdag for the last term. Then 4 times 25, yung factor natin multiply by 25, yan magiging 100. And for the y part, so since 1 y squared, and divide natin negative 8 by 2, then negative 4 squared, that would be 16. So 16 times 4, then yung factor natin 4, then multiply by 16. 4 times 16 is 64. Then this term, trinomial is equivalently to this squared, then x plus 5 raised to 2. Then for the y part, 4 plus y, quantity y, plus negative 4 raised to 2 is equal to the sum of the 5 plus 100 plus 64, that would be 169. So since meron tayong factor of 4 here, so divide natin by 4 para makuha natin yung standard equations of the circle. So cancel. Then maiwan yung a quantity of x plus 5 squared. Then a quantity of y minus 4 squared. Then 169 divide 4. Yan ang ating standard equations of the circle. So dito ma-determine natin yung center of the circle. So ang h natin dito is negative 5. And our k is 4. Then our radius r squared is represented 169 over 4. Then squaring both sides para maiwan yung r. So r here is 169 square root is 13 divide square root of 4 is 2. So the radius 13 over 2. So this time we have the learning activity sheet. So we are going to answer this activity. Identify the center and radius of the circle given the general equations of the circle.